Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Jay Cartere, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing House of Cards Season 4 Episode 7. So let's get into it, man. I really enjoyed this episode. It was really good. Happy to see Claire and Frank working together to reach their goals and whatnot. It's just a good little battle between him and Conway. It could go either way at the moment. There are loads of things that have started to happen that could blow up in their face down the line. So it's very intriguing, very tense. And yeah, it was a good episode, man. I'm very excited to see what happens next. But yeah, let's get on to the spoiler section of the review. Basically, right about now, I've got Conway and Aiko versus Frank. Now, Aiko is the Islamic Caliphate, the Islamic Caliphate organization. So it's basically, let's just say it's ISIS, basically. That's what it is. It's ISIS in the world of House of Cards. And basically, two leaders of Aiko are located in Syria, just like ISIS. I think I'm not really that up to date on the ISIS situation, but they're located in Syria and they have 3 oil fields under their control. Frank's generals urge him to approve an airstrike so that they can prevent them from becoming a serious threat. Frank doesn't want to do this though because he's got ulterior motives. Frank decides not to bomb them in case of any blowback and tells the military that he doesn't think they are a serious threat. So he tells them he doesn't want to bomb them in case of any blowback, but that's not the real reason why he's doing it. The real reason why he's doing it is because at the same time that he's having this meeting with the military, he's got a lawyer in FISA court requesting for the government to be granted permission to conduct domestic surveillance. Apparently, they're only going to be monitoring traffic and not individuals, but I don't believe that. They want to tap everyone's phones, basically, on the basis that Aiko is a serious threat and that they believe they are recruiting American citizens. So, on the one hand, he's telling his generals that, you know what, Aiko aren't a serious threat, and then on the other hand, he's got a lawyer trying to get the NSA to be able to conduct domestic surveillance on the basis that they are a serious threat. So he's playing both sides at the moment. And then after that, Conway has a speech and is preaching about having a government that doesn't invade people's lives. He also addresses the fact that ICO are taking over oil fields in Syria, and he says the White House is turning a blind eye. So that's not very good for Frank right about now. And then after this speech, a reporter asked Conway if it's true that the search engine Polyhop is providing him with voter data, and he doesn't answer the question, but the question is caught on camera. So obviously Frank is like, yeah, we can use this, we can get public outcry against him because he's been using all his voter data and shit. And then Leanne urges Frank to let her get Macmillan's help, which is a data analyst that she knows, to help with his plan B to beat Conway. Now, Frank has 2 plans. Frank's plan B is to use the NSA to tap Americans' phones to use that data to then win the election. His plan A is to expose that Conway is illegally using Polyhop to get voter data. So he's hoping that he can go with plan A because there's less risk for him. If he does all this NSA shit, then he's actually doing something illegal. So he's hoping to go with plan A, but we'll see if that works out. So Doug goes to meet Macmillan with Leanne. They tell him about the NSA, and he seems to be very interested in using the data for his own gain, which is good because he's interested in doing it for himself. But the fact that they've told him about the NSA means that there is a possible leak and things might go bad. So we have to hope that they can actually trust this guy, which I'm not 100% sure if they can. He might leak something down the road, and that might be something that they'll have to take care of. So that happens. Then Conway calls Frank, and Frank gives him a stern talking to. Frank lets him know who is boss. And then Conway calls a general to get him to turn on Frank, but the general tries to resign and Frank doesn't accept. Frank then realizes that the general is in cahoots with Conway, but he doesn't tell him. He instead agrees to the general's proposed strike on Aiko because that's what the general wants. He's like, okay, you're not doing anything about these guys. They're going to become the new Al-Qaeda. You need to let me do a strike. And then Frank's like, okay, I'll let you guys do what you need to do because you're my general. I'll let you be my general for a reason. You obviously know better than me. So if you're telling me that this is what we have to do, that's what we have to do. And then after that, because of all the rumors that are coming out that Conway is using Polyhop to get voter data and do all this sort of shit, Conway decides to live stream with his family. He addresses the rumors that he's teaming up with Polyhop, and then he confirms them. He then gives the public access to his phone, emails, pictures, and everything, which might be something that might have some ramifications down the road, because if he's got anything incriminating on there, it's going to be terrible. And I think he'll probably be using another phone to do other stuff as well. So I don't know, this might be a tool in Frank's campaign, it might not be. But after that happened, Polyhop's search engine and Conway's family antics gained loads of popularity. Like his videos on his phone went viral, and Polyhop gained a massive surge in users and stuff. So Frank decides to abort the strike on Syria in order to go through plan B, because if he destroys ICO, then there's no reason for him to be able to get domestic surveillance. So he had to tell the general, you know what, you can't do it, and don't even bother resigning because you don't want to live out like a civilian, so just chill out, fam, sit down. And then, like, he went about his business. And then the third, I totally forgot about Frank and Claire. Like, that is the second big plot point. I almost got onto the third one there. Yeah, the second big plot point is Frank and Claire are working together. Everything's going all right. They seem to be working on some plan that I'm not sure where exactly it is going. But Claire holds a press conference announcing that she'll be trying to introduce a law that will increase background checks to all gun transactions in order to prevent illegal gun ownership. Like, she's doing this on the back of Frank getting shot and like loads of other people getting shot and stuff like that. I don't really understand what the reason behind this is, like what the tactical advantages of doing this. So I'm really confused about that, but that's what she's doing. And then after that, she meets with the head of the NRA to get her support on the gun reform bill, and then she deliberately pisses her off, which I still don't understand. Like, I don't know what's going on there, so I'm hoping that they explain it soon. After that, Frank tells Donald that he's impressed with the way he handled things when he was shot. He asks Donald to be his running mate, to which Donald refuses because he just can't handle the stress. He doesn't want to do it. He's not that type of guy. And Frank agrees to not pressure him. He then tells the leadership that Donald Blythe should run with him, to which the leadership disagrees again. They're like, nah, he's not that guy. He's not going to gain us the support that we need. He's going to fuck shit up. Like, there's no point having him. We need someone else. And then after that, obviously this is what Frank and Claire want, because I don't really think that they want Donald Blythe to be the vice president or to run with him on his ticket. After that, him and Claire later meet with the leadership again, and they work together to get the leadership to agree that they'll find a running mate who is pro-guns in order to appease the NSA, as long as they nominate an anti-gun Supreme Court justice. And then they looked at each other when they was like, who's the anti-gun Supreme Court justice that we're gonna put in place or whatever. So I'm thinking it might be Claire or something, but we'll get into that later. The third thing on the agenda is Lucas's old boss talks to one of his old friends, and she tells him that Lucas's claims are true. So that was Lucas's ghost versus Frank, and that's going to be real interesting. This is probably the biggest plot thread that can blow up in Frank's face, but they don't have any proof on that. They might have proof on the domestic surveillance, so that might be something that Frank should really worry about. So it's a bit mad right about now. It's a bit mad. The Lucas thing might come out, but it might not, because I don't know where this guy's ever going to find proof from. So shit, my DualShock 4 just been connected again. That keeps on happening. But I'm really excited to see what's happening next. I'm really excited. So I've got a couple questions. Is Claire going to be a Supreme Court Justice? I don't know if you need a law degree to do that, or you need to be a lawyer first. So I'm unsure if she's even allowed to be a Supreme Court Justice, or if that's even possible. I don't think she has a law degree or anything like that I know of. So I'm unsure why they're in cahoots to get someone to be a Supreme Court Justice who is like pro-guns. I don't know what their plan is. They haven't really explained it. It's really, I'm at a loss right about now. I really want to find out what's going on. And what is Lucas's old boss going to do next? That's my next question. And I don't have a clue. I don't know who he should go to. I don't know who he will go to. I don't know what he's going to do, but I'd like to hear you guys' opinions on it. So please leave a comment in the description, answer those questions. And if you like this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next review.
It's been a cold winter and it's lasted far too long. So all this warmth I share with you.